Every scheming was for deep and cross the night. Lord Kiely to the party, no reason seemed right. Eyes on a shadow shifting in the low light. Plans in motion, face sealed, ready for the fight. Guys creeping, seatbelt gripping round the tight. Thrown in the hatch, out of mind, out of sight. Lakes dark, depths await, future ain't bright. Community, a hush, hush, darkness takes flight. Guys creeping, seatbelt gripping round the tight. Thrown in the hatch, out of mind, out of sight. Lakes dark, depths await, future ain't bright. Community, a hush, hush, darkness takes flight. Honor in silence, no voice, no screams. Sealed lips binding in collective dreams. Cover up runs deep like underground streams. Truth buried beneath just silent extremes. Small town whisper secrets cloaked in fears. Watchful eyes cover tracks, erase tears. Speaking up here means disappearing peers. They honor silence, they bury past with cheers. Moonless night stars conceal their dread. Guilt heavy can't shake the lead. Pretend it's just stories left unsaid, while morning covers what's already dead. Echoes in the dark, memories on replay. People turn their backs, push it all away. Witness to the sin, but in silence they stay. Deafening quiet, holding truth at bay. Deafening quiet, holding truth at bay. Silence, no voice, no scream. Sealed lips binding in collective dreams. Cover up runs deep like underground streams. Truth buried beneath just silent extremes. Small town whisper secrets cloaked in fears. Watchful eyes cover tracks, erase tears. Speaking up here means disappearing peers. They honor silence, they bury past with cheers. Moonless night stars conceal their dread. Guilt heavy can't shake the lead. Pretend it's just stories left unsaid, while morning covers what's already dead. Echoes in the dark, memories on replay. People turn their backs, push it all away. Witness to the sin, but in silence they stay. Deafening quiet, no truth at bay. Echoes in the dark, memories on replay. People turn their backs, push it all away. Witness to the sin, but in silence they stay. Deafening quiet, no truth at bay. Deafening quiet, holding truth at bay. Echoes in the dark, memories on replay. People turn their backs, push it all away. Witness to the sin, but in silence they stay. Deafening quiet, holding truth at bay. Holding truth at bay.
Strangers around me, I don't know who to trust, how to ground me. I can feel adrenaline, my heart's pounding. The enemies all around, they surrounding. Yeah, I think I better prepare. No fear in this world, better beware. No time in the world, yeah, to be scared. Leave it all on the line or don't be here. My ending's unclear. I can feel the quest, it's pulling me in. I don't wanna rest, I need to begin. I listen to my chest, I feel it in the wind. I know that I'm obsessed, that's how I'm gonna win. Yeah, I trained for this. Yeah, I prayed for this. I didn't change for this. I was made for this. I can feel the quest, it's pulling me in. I don't want no rest, I need to begin. I listen to my chest, I feel it in the wind. I know that I'm obsessed, that's how I'm gonna win. Yeah, I trained for this. Yeah, I prayed for this. I didn't change for this. I was made for this. I was born to make changes. Rearrange this place, gotta tame it. Enemies everywhere when you're famous. They wanna take this dream and deflate it. I hate it, but I use hate as fuel to give me energy. I got the barrel and the scope on my enemy. It's in my mind how I redefine everything. I know who I am, what I want, a clear identity. I can feel the quest, it's pulling me in. I don't wanna rest, I need to begin. I listen to my chest, I feel it in the wind. I know that I'm obsessed, that's how I'm gonna win. Yeah, I trained for this. Yeah, I prayed for this. I didn't change for this. I was made for this. The quest is pulling me in. I don't want no rest, I need to be in. I listen to my chest, I feel the wind. I know that I'm obsessed, that's how I'm gonna win. Yeah, I trained for this. Yeah, I prayed for this. I didn't change for this. I was made for this.
Yep. That's what we do it for, brother. Good job. Good job. It's positive, you know? All right.
She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Breaking news out of Placer County. 16-year-old Kiely Rodni.
Kiely Rodni.
Kiely Rodni.
Kylie 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 Rodni is
Kiely Rodni.
Kylie 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 Rodni. Kylie Rodni. Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni. Kylie Rodni.
Kylie Rodni. Kylie Rodni.
Kiely Rodni.
Kylie Rodni. Kylie Rodni.
Kiely Rodni.
Kylie Myra.
Kylie Rodni.
Kylie. Kylie.
Kylie Rodni.
How is everybody doing today? My apologies for having a longer beginning, but I feel it all goes together. How's everybody doing? Tonight, because for as much as I want to tell you what I'm doing on the back end of things, what is happening in the back end of things, it's not meant for YouTube. Not yet, at least. I know that I have not been live very often, and I apologize. I've been working my ass off. I am a parent, and I have a full-fledged garden that's, like, wrapped around the whole house. So, with that said, y'all, I have been busting my ass trying to get a video done for you guys, and it's just not going to happen. One, because I knew I was going to be taking a break from video making. I canceled all my subscriptions of shit, and I can't do it right now. You feel me? So I have been, until my AI credits run out in my 4 different apps that I use, I have been slowly but surely putting a video together, and I just figured, because I want to show you another video from ABC 10 News, I'll just give you a preview of how far I've gotten. I've gotten to about the 8-minute mark of adding visuals to the audio. So what this is a 1 hour and 42-minute, I do believe, podcast from the channel Birdie, B-I-R-D-I-E. There are all spaces in between each letter, all capital letters. Anyway, so I stumbled upon this podcast, and I was there because I read the title of it. It was sent to me. I am thankful. No, it wasn't. I searched for this. I'm lying. No. The second one that I'm going to show tonight was sent to me. The first one I found because I just wanted to see if there was any updated videos about Kiely Rodni, and it so happened that I had stumbled upon this podcast of these dudes that are just shooting the shit. And they have this incredible, I highly recommend, I will drop the link in the description after the live is over. But the conversation that they get enthralled into is crazy. And then, like, in the list of some of the names that he says in this podcast, he mentions Kiely Rodni. So instead of making you guys sit through the 1 hour and 42 minutes, because I don't have an hour and 42 minutes, I have about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that, to get everything that I need to get done. But I promise you that tonight's live is going to be well worth it, since I can't tell you anything else other than performance art type stuff, graphic art type stuff, to put my message out there through art. That's best I got. So this video is going to wind up being, I took that 1 hour and whatever it is podcast, and I chopped and screwed it, and I spliced it together the way that it would shorten it down to, I think it's like 15 minutes, 17 seconds. So I'm just going to play the whole thing for you. I'm just going to show you what I have so far. Y'all ready? Thank you for being here. I see a ranch boss. I see a boob tube. I see a Pookie's grandma. I see a mama Steph. Hi, honey. I see a bee geek. Sherry, good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. So this is the video that this is not just for Kiely, and you will see why. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Squirrels. We have seen a lot of different high-profile crimes that all seem to have the same script. Big headline, grieving town, always ends in a mystery. Yeah. If there's one thing that I'm passionate about outside of narrative warfare and waking NPCs up, it is this.
If the constitutional and civil liberties violations that they'll do and the illegal shit that they'll do is what they'll do when the entire country is watching. Imagine what happens to the small guy who can't afford to be the national story, right? So we're talking about how the narrative is always the same on these big stories.
Kylie.
But imagine how many times they get away with it when it's not a big story. Because that's the sobering thought. Let's educate ourselves about what law enforcement does, about what prosecution tactics are, because it's happening more than you think in smaller crimes.
Sorry, I keep talking over this. Yeah, I am a tree rat. What's up? You want to start some beef with me? All right, I'm gonna rewind this because I talked over this whole part here. I'm so sorry.
Same on these big stories, but imagine how many times they get away with it when it's not a big story. Because that's the sobering thought. Let's educate ourselves about what law enforcement does, about what prosecution tactics are, because it's happening more than you think in smaller crimes where they don't give a shit. But if you have a chance in this country if you have a high-paid lawyer. But imagine what they're getting away with if nobody's looking.
Well, when I talk about the media, you're going to notice the same anchors that say the same phrases in a shocking twist or a break in the case. They were on the police's radar. That's another one that's very odd. The cops are always aware of them, which again, see, now I put my tinfoil hat on and I start thinking, is that like the reverse psychology of the media? These people aren't even living in the world. They're living in an algorithm and they can get arrested.
So I'm going to pause this right here. In the podcast, what they're mainly talking about, I do believe, is the Brian Kohberger Idaho 4 case. And they're just talking about the similarities in the same, it happens in a lot of cases.
Aware of them. Which again, see, now I put my tinfoil hat on and I start thinking, is that like the reverse psychology of the media? These people aren't even living in the world. They're living in an algorithm and they can get arrested for making a joke that just goes too far and questions a headline.
It bothers me because
you remember how many times I took it too far? Probably taking it too far tonight, according to other people. Good thing I don't give a fuck about other people's opinion,
Like the reverse psychology of the media. These people aren't even living in the world. They're living in an algorithm and they can get arrested for making a joke that just goes too far and questions a headline.
It bothers me because you're right. It's like a programmed narrative. I just don't know if it's groupthink and people aren't thinking for themselves. But every single time you start to question a case, the response is how disgusting you are for being disrespectful to the victims. And I have to say it over and over again.
There's a lot of them, y'all.
It is respectful to the victims to get it fucking right, to get the right person behind jail. How is that not respectable to the victims? Do you not, the families not want to know who really did it and what really happened? To act like it's somehow disgusting to get to the bottom of what really happened. I just don't even understand that.
There's a pattern that
Yep.
pretty much since high-profile crimes have been able to become a nationwide or worldwide news story.
Yes.
The crime may be different, but the playbook is the same almost every time. I guess you could almost call it like the modern criminal case, especially the big ones, but they follow the same loop. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, I call it a playbook or a pattern.
Do y'all like how I made the AI a bird with a tinfoil hat? Because that's what Birdie's channel is. I mean, he's Birdie. I think I changed the bird a little bit, but I kept the tinfoil hat.
But it's always media hysteria, sealed documents, the motive disappears, silence, and then poof, public forgets and the news cycle gets clogged up with something else. There's for sure a pattern. There's for sure a playbook. They have so much of a playbook and so much power that once the public thinks that they have the villain, boom, no new info. I'd be curious how much goes on.
Ain't that crazy? And it is. It's like, boom, just no new info. We're gonna make the narrative spin to whatever the fuck we want it to, even if it's a lie, you know?
Much of a playbook and so much power that once the public thinks that they have the villain, boom, no new info.
Nope.
I'd be curious how much goes on behind the scenes in these high-profile cases. Do they say it's better if the...
Look, I was trying to look at Reber's fucking pictures and trying to do him a solid, and I did. Wait, it gets better.
Truth's not out? It's going to make this messier for you? You're going to have more people at your doorstep? The news are...
Look, I even included Reber. I can't wait till that motherfucker's investigated.
Playbook and so much power that once the public thinks that they have the villain, boom, no new info. I'd be curious how much goes on behind the scenes in these high-profile cases. Do they say it's better if the truth's not out?
Yep.
It's going to make this messier for you? You're going to have more people at your doorstep?
Dude, isn't this crazy? Look, look, I did Frickberg a solid too. Look. There's so much in this shit.
Behind the scenes in these high-profile cases. Do they say it's better if the truth's not out? It's going to make this messier for you? You're going to have more people at your doorstep? The news already put out that narrative?
You see that shit? Look at.
They say it's better if the truth's not out. It's going to make this messier for you. You're going to have more people at your doorstep. The news already put out that narrative.
Look, if I get the money, I'm going to pay the $10 to get this made into a video of an animated wiping a steering wheel. You feel me?
The narrative goes viral before the facts do in almost all of these cases as well. The autopsies in a standard homicide, a lot of people think that like what's
blood money,
commonly known as like a rape kit is done. But in a
I feel like, because I try to look this up and I feel like what he's saying is accurate in homicide cases. Just listen.
The autopsies in a standard homicide, a lot of people think that like what's commonly known as like a rape kit is done. But in a homicide, that would only be, that's not a standard in a full autopsy. I can promise you guys, like
see that? It's not standard in a full autopsy. Listen to what he's saying. It's important. It's very important.
Commonly known as like a rape kit is done. But in a homicide, that would only be, that's not a standard in a full autopsy. I can promise you guys, like I wouldn't have put that part out there if I didn't really research it. Does it happen? Yes, they do it, but they do it when they suspect sexual assault, rape, or if you were bound and restrained.
There's a million questions, and they're legitimate questions.
See that? That's when they do them in a standard autopsy. See that? You know who had that done in their autopsies? Kiely and Trinity, both back to back by this man.
Yes, they do it, but they do it when they suspect sexual assault, rape, or if you were bound and restrained.
There's a million questions, and they're legitimate questions. It's not just conspiracy theorists
it's
that
a
want out shit
question.
to have something to
With
talk
a
about. They're legitimate questions that the documents themselves are leading to new questions. Like, what the hell happened?
This is kind of a terrifying question. Not even trying to be dramatic. This is kind of a terrifying question.
Yeah, that's my question, okay? Now listen to his question, because I think this is where it might cut off and it just goes black, but we're just going to listen.
Why wouldn't you come out and tell the truth?
Yeah,
because
why?
the amount of energy that you're taking on discrediting these conspiracy theories, and it's not just online conspiracy theories, you saw them. Why not tell the story.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too painful for you guys to hear.
Dude, tell me this shit ain't hitting right now. Tell me it's not hitting right now.
This is kind of a terrifying question. Why wouldn't you come out and tell the truth? Because the amount of energy that you're taking on discrediting these conspiracy theories, and it's not just online conspiracy theories, you saw them. Why not tell the story?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too painful for you guys to hear.
Yeah, that's, you know what, newsflash, I don't need the government or any law enforcement official to tell us what's too dangerous for us, what our ears can't hear, what our minds can't think.
I don't need a round mound of sound and a flea pack either.
What our mouths can't say. Like, I go on that tangent all of the time.
Yeah.
Me too, sir.
As well you should. I don't need a parent at my age. I don't
Dude,
need
I
a
love
parent
this podcast.
to tell me
It's good shit.
what's and they do it all the time. It's, well, it's going to be too damaging for people, so we're not going to let you see this or whatever. And I'm like, quit trying to tell me what I'm able as an adult to see. I'll make my own choices, but they don't want you to. And really, at the end of the day, they're just trying to control the narrative. And they're just using it as a bullshit excuse to not tell you what happened. It's not for your, believe me, they really don't care about damaging your psyche.
No.
What they care about is hiding the narrative. They're using that as a bullshit excuse on why they're not telling you the truth.
Yeah, and the other one, the other common mainstream narrative too is like, whenever they talk about like, it's for, they'll say this, it's for the greater good, which anytime you hear that, your ears should perk up. Your ears should perk up, Hive. If you hear this is for the greater good, you need to start questioning immediately. Yes. And the other one that I cannot stand is when they say they have like the children's best interest in mind. Get the hell out of here. There are
See the similarities in all these cases?
are so many people that have abused or, whatever to kids. That's been very highly speculated on, and I would almost argue confirmed at this point. Between Epstein, between Hollywood, all of the stories that have come out of these child celebrities. Okay, and not just with that, but things that kids get roped into when they can't think. Like
this.
It pisses me off because I think about even when I was 20.
Think about these kids and the way they're growing up.
Not tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not tell the truth?
Oh, it's too painful for you guys to hear.
No.
Yeah. That's, you know what? Newsflash. I don't need the government.
Wait a minute. He just said that again. What's going on here?
Dangerous for us. What our ears can't hear. What I can say, like,
just happened?
I go on that tangent all of the time.
I don't need a parent at my age. Well, it's going to be too damaging for people, so we're not going to let you see this or what you do. And really, at the end of the day, they're just trying to control the narrative. And they're just using it as a bullshit excuse to not tell you what happened. It's not for your, believe me.
See, look, I'm glad it's not a video because I already see errors in it. I'm going to write that timestamp down.
They really don't care about damaging your psyche.
No.
What they care about is hiding the narrative. They're using that as a bullshit excuse on why they're not telling you the truth.
Yeah, and the other one, the other common mainstream narrative too is like, whenever they talk about like, it's for, they'll say this, it's for
Dude, we just heard this.
There are so many people that have abused or, whatever to kids.
We're back on track.
Very highly speculated on, and I would almost argue confirmed at this point. Between Epstein, between Hollywood, all of the stories that have come out of these child celebrities.
Clintons.
Okay, and not just with that, but things that kids get roped into when they can't think. Like, it pisses me off because I think about even when I was 21 years old.
Right? And how dumb you were.
Scope, and yes, everybody's going to be picking through it. Just understand and remember, who is putting that into the millions of people's screens? It's these giant companies, everybody.
Media corps that are owned, like, if you think about all these tech companies, all these media companies, all these companies are owned by these very same glob of people doing dirty ass shit. Like, and it's sad to me that, like, they're dirty deleting people's autopsies and writing in the narrative so they keep profiting, and then they go and double down and profit off the deaths of these people because they need more money to fund more toys and shit, and they're not doing anything for victims.
They're the ones that are pushing it out. So for them to push it out and let everybody know about it, and then when people question that, say, let the victims' families grieve. Well, the counter to
how many times did we hear that?
That is unfortunately in this world and in this life, there's people that have gone through tragedy. There's people that have, as I read on the last 2 nights of the stream, there's people who have had their children murdered.
And that's the thing is, like, I try to do my lives as respectful as I can, but at the same time, like, my videos, my lives have messages in them. And it's terrible that, like, there's these same people out there with links to people. Wait till he says all this shit in his podcast. And how they put these NPCs out there just to harass you and make threats on you and shit like that, just so you don't talk about this shit. Like, you're talking about children here, okay? Children that are being abused or trafficked or killed in their own towns, and there ain't shit that nobody's doing for them.
There's people who have lost parents to illness. There are people who are maybe currently ill. There's things that everybody goes through.
Yep.
Trauma. And yes, it's understood everybody grieves differently. But when you have a, globalist media company shoving a story down your throat that doesn't make sense and you start to question it, that's the line. That's too far.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
There was a story, and I don't remember who it was. I was trying to figure out about the quick search, but I'm not going to.
Like, and the media literally puts out little tidbits so that people don't think for themselves and be like, something is fucking fishy here. And then all these people just come out of the woodwork and harass you and bother you. For really no reason other than, oh, you don't like me? I'm sorry, watch another channel. Yeah, it is. Like, this podcast was like, yes, somebody's speaking my language, like, in real time. In real time.
I'm not going to try to do it. Netflix had a documentary,
We're gonna skip that part.
And that was a perfect example of how children are used. Those children, at one point in the documentary, you see, seem to be manipulated to.
Uh-oh. Did my shit freeze?
On the narrative changed, and they manipulate the children again to say that never happened and this happened, and we're like, the children were used as pawns. And
isn't that crazy? Look at all these cases that I've talked about. It's crazy. This is crazy.
Entire time, America's being told, shut up about it. Those are children. And I'm like, the fucking children are changing their mind in the story because adults are manipulating, weaponizing the children to tell whatever narrative they want, and then shaming you for questioning the children because they're just.
Right? So the same thing happened even like with Kiely's case. It happened with Trinity's case. Look how crazy it was with like nobody dared said anything about Dante.
Just children.
Yeah, same. But
and that's the thing is like, in the same playbook, the same way it's presented through the media, through these other people, like the patterns of these cases in the media are all the same. They literally are.
Because adults are manipulating, weaponizing the children
like,
to tell whatever narrative they want, and then shaming you for questioning the children because they're just children. Yeah,
same. But different. But still same. That's how I feel like with these cases, dude. With all these high profile, like the modern crimes that you see on TV, the media frenzy comes in fast. There's pressure to make a quick arrest. As I said earlier, the narrative goes viral before any of the facts do. The suspect was already known to the system. There's sealed warrants and gag orders.
And then I'm going to pause this right here. And then they like insert other convictions that have nothing to do with the case that we were trying to focus on. But because they know people have this like goldfish brains at times, they just scroll to the next thing. Like, that's how people are.
Quick arrest. As I said earlier, the narrative goes viral before any of the facts do. The suspect.
They throw people in with like the same names. People like being arrested, they try to throw that in there. They distract you with shit. It's crazy.
Suspect was already known to the system.
Absolutely, Chris.
There's sealed warrants and gag orders.
Absolutely.
The motive remains elusive. And then any controversy and doubt is erased by either the first line of defense of the mainstream media being the NPCs attacking people on social media.
so crazy. And if you think about Kiely's case, and I mean, you watched it in real time, she was disappearing right before your eyes. And then they try to gaslight you like it never, that was never there. And it's like, yes, it was. Look, here's the screenshot. Here's the receipt. Now what? And then they'll attack you with something else. Dude, this podcast is incredible. I've been watching more of his videos because I really like his train of thought.
And then any controversy and doubt is erased by either the first line of defense of the mainstream media being the NPCs attacking
real,
people
Chris.
on social media, thinking that they're the problem, when there's a giant globalist news network shoving this into the heads
Yes.
of millions of people every night.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're told these are all isolated tragedies, but what if they're not? What if they're not?
What if they're
And
not? What
doesn't
if
this
it's
start to
all
feel a little bit
connected?
reused and refitted and recycled?
Yes.
You know, something that actually popped into my head talking about reused, refitted, and recycled. How many stories have you heard about these giant mega companies that were like two brothers that got into a fight and then they're both still ultra successful, like the Adidas, like that?
Yes.
So, and like the whole thing about history repeats itself, but you know, I wanted to see if you all agreed vibe as the Idaho 4. Like, obviously we have Brian Koberger,
See?
right? Then we got the Delphi murders. We got Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie, John Benet
Listen.
Ramsey, Kendrick
Yep.
Johnson. If you don't know who
Yep.
Kendrick Johnson is, he was the
rolled in a
he was the
mat.
gentleman who was found. What was he? 17. He's found
Stabbed and
rolled
rolled
up,
in a mat.
or he was found inside of a rolled up gym mat, and it was ruled
Right.
suicide.
Ellen Greenberger, Michael Younger, same thing. Like, these people were stabbed by somebody else, and they were like, "Oh no, we're just gonna blame the victim because you know the dead can't talk."
And
And
then
blunt
wasn't
force
his
trauma.
organs
Yeah.
organs missing and stuff with newspaper when they exhumed his body?
Like, the story's insane.
Tell the family that they allegedly and they said like they don't have to tell the family they do that. I'm like, who did I just finish with? We have Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie, then Kiely Rodni.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that a lot of
And even if it's people in their conversations, I like that people are able to see the same patterns that we see, and in their conversations they can bring up cases like Kiely Rodni. I wish there was a lot more people talking about all these other cases, but there's a lot of things to cover, and people have fish brains.
these, like the Kiely Rodni one is one that I saw Nick put a comment on here, and hopefully I can scroll up and find it because I tried to put it on Stu 1,000 times and none of her friends.
Oh, wait.
Nick had said, where did it go? Oh yeah, pretty girl at a party mysteriously drives into a lake she's been to 1,000 times and none of her friends know anything.
That question right there. That's a good question. It's a really good question. Everybody should think about this question.
Ed. Where did it go? Oh yeah, pretty girl at a party mysteriously drives into a lake she's been to 1,000 times and none of her friends know anything. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And,
It's crazy.
You know, what do you think? Have you looked into that case at all? Do you know much?
No, but it has several of the check marks, so it's going to be huge, right?
Yes.
Well, right. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of speculation.
It wasn't meant to blow up like that. It purposely did. That's why they brought the PR people in that they did. That's why the people around this case and other cases in California, that's why certain people are put into place.
And this one, I think social media did bubble up.
A little bit.
But the delay
Yep.
in that discovery was to likely align the cover story.
Mhm.
And
Exactly. Exactly. They had to get things into place, like a car in the water and all that, you know?
when I truly believe, and I'm not saying that it's 100% of the time, but more times than not, the police weren't looking.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Civilians, internet sleuths, whatever you want to say, weren't looking. What police can't,
Yes.
I typically will feel like the police weren't looking.
Mm-mm.
I typically will feel like the police weren't looking
Exactly.
Yes.
as hard as they should have.
Right.
Because they knew.
It was
They
scary.
didn't have to. It was very scary, huh? So that's what I'm cooking up. But it's, of course, you can see it's not finished. It's just a black screen. but it's well worth the listen. Like I said, I will put Birdie's channel with the video link in the description after this live is over, or tomorrow morning, depending on how much time I have. Now, y'all ready for another one? Okay. This case is just, it's so like California. And this is the case of Ethan Rossi. I'm going to skip through this because I don't know if they're going to try to strike me. I'm not monetized right now, so I'm not worried about it. But this is the story of Ethan Rossi, and I want you guys to listen to this. I'm probably going to make comments on it until I get sleepy, and then I'm going to bounce off here. Oh, absolutely, Lady G. Many of these are.
Suicidal. I want the truth.
Oh, sorry.
Our son wasn't suicidal. I want the truth. I don't want my son's life to have ended with a lie.
This is a good one.
Fresh out of high school, Heather says
Shout outs to BoobTube for sending me this video, because holy shit.
their family was ecstatic, celebrating her son, Ethan.
He was incredibly excited.
Please, ABC 10, do not strike me. If you just pay attention to what you've put in this video, to what I've put into videos, you'll have so much to investigate. Please help us too.
And put it on his back and was like, I've got this. Like, the world's mine.
At 18, Ethan had a plan. Even writing in a school assignment, he had a lot of options after high school.
It's just so crazy that these kids are so young, and they're like fresh out of high school or fresh on their way to becoming adults of their own.
Knew he was gonna go play lacrosse. He was getting an apartment with his friends.
Sounds like Kiely,
He
huh?
was finally
Sounds like
gonna
Trinity,
get
huh?
to start to become a firefighter.
But in a matter of days,
Our whole world changed.
while Heather and her husband Ian were gone camping, other recent graduates were gathering in their home for a party.
Oh, of course. Ready?
Middle of the night, somebody came into our tent and woke me up and said, we need to go. Ethan's been hurt.
Ethan had been taken to Kaiser Hospital.
You guys, when you hear this story of this poor kid, like, you're really gonna see the pattern now.
What I was told is my son suffered a series of cardiac arrests. When we got there, he was unresponsive.
She says he was in critical condition, his blood pressure unstable.
And that he was losing oxygen to his brain.
How did a
Just
healthy
wait, though.
6'2"
Gets
athlete
worse.
get this way?
They were whispering about party games, dares.
But, they say, the story kept changing.
Oh,
Somebody
did it?
said he had tried to hurt himself.
Like, the clothes kept changing and the stories kept changing. Everything was contradicting every person. That's why they limited how many people would speak to privately in social medias. Gotta keep that shit hush hush.
The story kept changing.
Somebody said he had tried to hurt himself.
Individuals at their house told law enforcement Ethan hung himself from the bathroom shower rail.
He
No,
stood
he didn't.
higher than most shower rails are built.
He had wrapped a towel around his neck.
Yeah, like Kiely did that sweater in the back of the sleepy picture.
It's something that came from a hotel across the street.
So this thing that's wrapped around, allegedly, his throat, okay, came from a hotel across the street. Right? No.
It wasn't our towel.
When
That's crazy.
paramedics arrived,
If he hung himself in his house, the towel should be from the house, from his bathroom. Why is it coming across the street, police?
It wasn't our towel.
when paramedics arrived,
Ethan was in cardiac arrest in our hallway. He wasn't in a bathroom.
and the questions only grew.
We never really got to know who was at this party or not.
Somebody went back to get his thing.
That's crazy too, right? This is like, it's deja vu. It's insane.
True.
You never really got to know who was at this party or not.
Somebody went back to get his things, and our house had been clean spotless. It
Why?
smelled of bleach.
Why?
It was...
Who did that?
It was pristine. I remember thinking, like, it's okay because Ethan's gonna wake up and he's gonna tell us what happened. Like, clearly something got out of hand.
But Ethan didn't wake up.
Like, how does Kiely's family not question that fucking autopsy? How does Kiely's family and friends not question that seatbelt strap looking ass thing hanging out of the back hatch?
He had no brain activity and that he wasn't ever gonna wake up.
This poor mom.
We took him off life support.
I don't want to be sad right now.
Still don't add up.
Nope, they don't.
Downtown and got a copy of the police reports.
Here we go.
I pulled it out and I looked at it, and it was a total of a page and a half. It said there never was a case.
Never was a case. Here's an incident report from the night that...
And what's crazy is they claimed Kylie's was being investigated as an abduction, but CHP wasn't willing to put out an Amber Alert. Then they tried to paint it as like all these fucking other narratives, y'all. It sounds like a pattern.
your son died.
Heather and Ian thought there'd be an investigation, but Ethan's death was simply deemed a suicide.
Sweep it on
And
under the rug, huh?
Remember the shock of standing there with this one piece of paper and the clerk going next and it just saying.
And this mom is not alone. Like, there are so many cases in the state of California that the same thing is happening to these families. And it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop.
That my son had died by suicide. And I was...
These victims, these families, deserve the fucking truth and justice to come for these kids. Yes, there's tons of adults as well, but the amount of kids alone is just, it's mind-blowing. All right, Katie Bug, it's good to see you, honey.
My son had died by suicide.
Yeah, then they said it was a criminal case. Then bitch was getting a... Why is she getting a criminal defense lawyer? And then all of a sudden it was just... It was like people were getting on YouTube to like push the narrative that it was just an accident. Remember all them weird ass people that just came out of the woodwork from the area that first said that they know something fishy is going on? All these people that came from like San Francisco and Bay areas to come help look for this little girl, and they even said some shit was weird. And then they turn around and like change their stories and their thoughts, and it's crazy.
And I was outraged. I said, I want to talk to a police officer right now.
And and the crazy thing is like, it's these police officers, these investigators, these coroners, these sheriff marshals, whatever the fuck they are. It's them putting this out there for these families. California and the agencies within it, including the SAC FBI, need to be investigated.
Over the next few months, Heather met with the Sacramento County...
Where the fuck's Cash Patel? What's he doing these days? Much of nothing? And that's the thing is like, I had so much hope with this administration, and I see the good things that they are doing, but like, I really wish they would focus on like, the tragedies with our own children in this country. Like, I wish they would focus on that.
Sheriff's Office multiple times, recording their conversations and later sharing them with ABC 10. In these recordings, the Sacramento...
It's so sad that you have to reach out to other field offices outside of this state for somebody to listen, right? That's what's crazy to me.
and later sharing them with ABC 10. In these recordings, the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office admitted their initial response had been poor.
And those patrol officers come out there and they did a shitty job.
The deputies who had responded to Ethan's death had mixed up names in their report.
And then I think about Kiely's autopsy. I would love to know who did the autopsy on this out of Sacramento, because he's a practicing doctor down there, and I know he's a coroner for a lot of that state.
Transposing them, they said.
I chalked it up to human error. They transposed names. They did not their finest moment.
Because I know in Sac Sheriff's...
And that's a sheriff admitting that. But what's crazy is we heard Sam Brown do the same fucking thing, and not a damn thing was done to look any further. I was wondering that too, BoobTube. I think you put that in my head. I think you did put that in my head.
They did not their finest moment.
Because I know in Sac Sheriff's...
That sheriff sounds just like Brown.
Operating procedures, it says that any death should be treated as a homicide until proven otherwise.
Yeah, so where is the evidence, okay? Where is this evidence with this case, with Kiely's case, with Trinity's case? Like, hell! Paisley Woodard was a homicide, and they knew somebody hit and killed her. While drunk, going over 100 miles an hour. And all that bitch got was a fucking anklet on her ankle for 4 months because we don't want to ruin these kids' lives. Well, you know what? If you would punish them, give them the punishment that they deserve, these kids wouldn't be doing this shit. Pisses me off.
But they didn't.
Sacramento County Sheriff's current protocol.
The fucking justice system in California is a shame.
Protocol emphasizes why it's critical to treat every death as a potential homicide, because it states there are no second chances to rectify an incomplete death scene investigation.
And that is why this area does their autopsies the way that they do, and then they quickly push the families to cremate. Kiely Rodni, Trinity Backus, Dante, Amy Morris, right off the top of my head. And that's what's crazy. They all happen within a year time span. Not even. I think maybe 6 months, 7 months, 6 months.
Still.
I wonder if they had Christine Anderson. I wonder if they pushed that family to cremate. I have so many questions.
Heather says the sheriff's office agreed to take another look at Ethan's death. Over 2 months after Ethan died, records show Sacramento Sheriff's investigators got statements from several people.
Dragging their fucking knuckles. That's all they do with these cases. They get paid all this money to do what? Sweep shit under the rug? Pretend like they're doing a great job and then just chalk it up to, oh, well, we just need better education, more toys? Like, what? What is going on with
people who were there the night of the party? Ethan was always super happy and never really got mad, one person said. Another told investigators Ethan was not acting weird and never said anything about being upset or depressed.
Like, it is corruption masked with inaptness is what it is. It's not that they're inapt, they're so corrupt in the bidding that they do. I know there's some good cops there, but I'm sorry, the darkness there outweighs the good, and I'm rooting for that aspect of law enforcement to be able to enforce laws.
Ethan was not acting weird and never said anything about being upset or depressed. The only person who suggested Ethan was possibly upset was a firefighter who said these same friends on scene had told him that. This discrepancy only adds to the long list of questions Ethan's family has.
Questions that are just unbelievable that now we have made law enforcement aware of, and they are unwilling to look into.
ABC 10 requested an on-camera interview with the Sacramento.
And what I wonder is, like, with like Dylan Rousey's family. After this aired, is this family now, I'm curious to know if they're being threatened or feel more fearful, more paranoid. Like how they're doing, you know?
Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, they declined. We sent them written questions asking what steps were taken to investigate Ethan's death, why it took months to interview key witnesses.
Same with Mark Sanchez, even like people that weren't related to him, but were Kiely's cases, how much they ramped that shit up.
And a statement expressing their deepest sympathies to Ethan's family and that the agency conducted a thorough and comprehensive investigation. Again, concluding Ethan's death was a suicide.
Our investigation is completed.
That sounds just like Placer, Nevada County, don't it? Listen, I'm serious. It sounds just like them. It's like just listen.
Ethan's death was a suicide.
I can hear the tall, skinny dude. What the hell was his name? Barnhart. I can hear him saying this. Same exact 2 sentences.
Investigation. Again, concluding Ethan's death was a suicide.
Our investigation is completed. That this is not a criminal investigation.
Remember?
This is a suicide.
Heather and Ian say they felt dismissed.
Why aren't you asking these questions?
They say the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office wrote them off as grieving parents.
It really reflects what we're confident the outcome of this case is. It's unfortunate. And
how are you doing, honey? It's good to see you.
You don't want to believe it.
Investigators also told Heather,
you got to think about like the positive things that your son did in his life.
Okay, and this moment, there's so much deja vu going on, and like boob tube, I definitely, after watching that podcast and also seeing this on top of like everyone counts and then all the cases that I've looked into myself, yeah, it's like, it's even speech patterns, which is crazy.
Investigators also told Heather,
just listen.
You got to think about like the positive things that your son did in his life, and like
it makes me feel like, because we gotta remember with Kiely's case, every time they did a press conference or whatever, the officers kept saying this, and then when something happened to Lindsay, you see it happen around the 9th, and she starts saying this too. Like the same people that are telling law enforcement, this is what we're doing, they all start getting into the same script real quick. It's like fear and shit, you know? This is crazy.
Investigators also told Heather,
you got to think about like the positive things that your son did in his life, and like focus on that. You're suspect, making kids suspects in a small community, which is ostracizing yourself and making things toxic.
My son died.
Bro, for real. Her son died. Kiely died. Trinity died. All of these people died. And this is the best law enforcement got, y'all. What? Only in California have I ever seen this on this type of scale of holy fuck. I gotta hear this one more time, because this just really, I could end my live here. It's a wrap, but we gotta keep
focus
going.
on that. You're suspect. You don't.
This is fucked up.
Sheriff's Office wrote them off as grieving parents.
It really reflects what we're confident the outcome of this case is.
It's the same tone.
And many times you don't want to believe it.
It's like almost the same cadence.
Investigators also told Heather,
you got to think about like the positive things that your son did in his life, and like focus on that. You're
exactly,
suspect,
Jade.
kids suspects in a small community, which is ostracizing yourself and making things toxic.
My son died. My son died at a party. You've written my son's death off.
And whoever helped incorporate and update the new ways of Truckee, what's going on here, that ick, it swallowed Truckee fucking alive. Some of these people are gnashing against it, and it ain't looking too good for them. Like, you hear the Truckee Way in it? You hear it? This is fucked up.
Died at a party. You've written my son's death off as a suicide. What is happening?
What is your message to the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office?
That our child matters.
Sacramento County, Placer County, Nevada County. Something going on between the sheriffs and the FBI and all. Something's going on there, man. Something's going on there. Something's going on there.
We went to them for help and they told us.
Something's going on there. And it's crazy that Waldo has parents with easy ties.
He wasn't worth it.
You know?
Losing a child, they say there's supposed to be no worse pain.
There's
not knowing
not.
why you lost
There's
your
not.
child doubles it.
I watched what it did to my parents. First losing my sister and then my brother. I don't ever wish a parent to ever have to bury their child or deal with. But look, I'm rooting for the justice for your kids. That's all I'm doing.
It's supposed to be no worse pain. Not knowing why you lost your child doubles it.
A death rule.
Like, could you imagine being fed a lie? Like, it's got to more than double it. It's got to more than double that. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine. Like, I try to, but I cannot fathom the feeling of first losing your child, but then being told that it's their own fault when you know absolutely no way in hell, based upon the evidence, that there is no fucking way that what you're trying to tell me in writing is even legit. I would sue the fuck out of that entire state. And I don't know how more of these parents or more of these family members from these cases don't all get together. Like, it blows my fucking mind. And, like, I'm really trying to bring this aspect of it together, but I'm just a small-ass channel, and I wish more people would pay attention. All I can do is try to, like, put the shit together and do what I'm doing, you know?
The suicide that doesn't sit right. A family left with questions. No investigators at the scene and no autopsy. These are not just details.
Like, our kids are being trafficked, y'all. Our kids are dying and being written off. And it's for profit. Like, that's the thing. Like, they're profiting off the deaths of these people, these kids. They're getting paid to do nothing. I see that common trait, and it's like a weird generation of people. Like, they just want to get paid to do absolutely nothing other than be fucking yes men or whatever.
Of Ethan's case, they also mirror Joanna's, the other case we've been investigating for 2 years. And what we've learned is cases like these may be we've been investigating for 2 years. And what we've learned mirror Joanna's, the other. These are not just details of Ethan's case, they also mirror Joanna's, the other.
How about Kiely? How about Trinity? How about Michael? How about Dante? How about Amy? How about Mark? How many more do y'all need? How many more names do you need? Like, I can literally provide 26 of them. Probably more. This is insane to me.
Case we've been investigating for 2 years. And what we've learned is cases like these may be more common.
And what's gonna piss me off about this is when this shit is blown wide open, and it will be. It just makes me wonder, like, I don't know.
Than you think.
I'm gonna shut up.
Experts told us that suspicious deaths, even homicides, can sometimes be overlooked, underinvestigated, or worse, hidden.
I didn't realize that this was
secrets.
a huge issue that we needed to pay attention to.
The Alliance
I'm gonna let this
for
play
Hope
for a minute. I really gotta go potty. I'll be right back.
Is working to change that. Their nonprofit specializes in these cases, and they found patterns like
law enforcement reaches a very quick decision that this is a suicide without completing a full investigation.
And other themes.
Law enforcement doesn't talk to family members. And every case that we've handled, there is nothing to indicate that they were suicidal.
Not all, but many of these cases involve domestic violence, like Joanna's.
A domestic violence case is the most likely case to be staged to look like a suicide.
And in those cases, strangulation is not just violence, they say. It's a warning sign.
Stranglers have this ability to kill somebody and leave no marks on their body. It's kind of like suffocation and strangulation are two of those ways. If you shoot somebody, it's hard, really hard to make that look like suicide.
It's why the Alliance for Hope created a guide for law enforcement and families, outlining what they call 10 red flag factors to help identify and investigate suspicious deaths.
If all 10 of them exist, which they do in